The Cuyahoga County regular council meeting for Tuesday, December 9th, 2025 will please come to order. And I'm not going to read the full range of notifications about proper decorum and procedure, but just to remind everybody that those notifications remain in effect for this meeting. And I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Good evening, everyone. As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Also, as a reminder to all meeting attendees seeking parking validation for tonight's meeting, please be sure to scan the QR code located on the back table near the chamber's entrance to claim your discount. If you do not already have a Metropolis account, you will need your license plate number to set up the account in advance of receiving your validation. Please be sure to complete this prior to the end of tonight's meeting, as the QR code will be removed at the conclusion of tonight's meeting. Calling the roll, Mr. Castleberry.
Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
Mr. Schlepper.
Here.
Ms. Conwell. Present. Mr. Jones.
Here.
Ms. Turner. I know she's here. Mr. Hauser.
Here.
Ms. Simon.
Here.
Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Sweeney.
Here.
Council President Miller.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. And I would now like to invite everybody in attendance to please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, and it is now time for a moment of silent reflection, and I would ask everyone to please join me in pondering whatever is on your heart this evening. Thank you very much. It is now time for public comment. Has anybody signed in?
Jason Jardine. Mr. Jardine, if you could make sure that that button is green, the bottom, so we can hear you in the microphone. Thank you.
Hi, I am Jason Jardine. I want to bring to your attention that the $400,000 Georgia Samary lawsuit you are voting on tonight against the county stems from the corruption involved in my lawsuit inside the same courthouse Georgia's from. Samary was collateral damage that could have been avoided. I bring this to your attention because I believe it's only the beginning of the county's issues involving this matter. If the county doesn't do something about the culture that exists inside our DR court, I believe we will be facing another county corruption scandal like we experienced in the past if it's not already too late. In fact, Mark DeTore, one of the individuals the county regularly hires and associated with the corruption scandal from the past, was still able to be hired by the county and Judge Celebrezzi to work on my case and cause even more damage for this county. This DR court has had bad leadership. It's hidden behind the drama, the chaos, the ugliness, and broad discretion the judges are allowed in divorce. That is not an excuse to do nothing. It has set the ethical benchmark so low, they need help correcting it. Your silence will only mean acceptance because you are now fully aware of being sued by and paying Samary $400,000, not to mention over $250,000 to defend Judge Celebrezzi. This is exactly why we need your involvement to fix the culture of corruption in there. There are good people in this system like Georgia Samari, yet they are afraid to speak up because of the retaliation that occurs if you dare do. I experienced this same retaliation at a magnified level. It is very real. I haven't even touched upon the kickbacks and donations involved, and I believe this is why the FBI is investigating. I've been interviewed a dozen times by the FBI in regards to this domestic relations court.
Mr.
Please
President.
do
Please
something
conclude your
about
remarks.
this. The place is out of control. Thank you.
Lou?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Right now, I'm here to report something probably still trivial comparing to our disastrous budget. However, these trivial issues are really big, huge for the impacted people. And that also reflects how our past budgets did not really allocating our funds properly. Last weekend and even this week, the place I stay right now had no hot water. The reason we have no hot water, there are different factors there. One, you can imagine, is the current constructions. Secondly, due to the weather, the building has the design which current construction, the crew cannot really encounter, cannot anticipate. So the same thing. The pipe can be frozen and busted. 2 weeks ago, when we didn't have the hot water for the whole weekend, it was because of that. Leaking was inside of the building, and staff tried to tell us not to use the only stairway we could use to go through 2 different floors. Because don't forget, construction is still ongoing. The elevator there has not been done, no inspection, no certificate of operations. This reflects the true natures of budgeting issues. As Councilman Gallagher questions, for how many cycles? We have advocates actually provided solutions but never considered. That's why right now county is in bad situation on the funding. If we do not reconsider the whole structure of it, we will have no end of all these things. Thank you.
Ann Mueller?
Good evening.
Evening.
Council President Miller and the members of the council, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak this evening. I'm Ann Mueller. I'm a labor representative for the Ohio Nurses Association. I've been given the honor and privilege of working with the registered nurses at the Metro Cleveland Behavioral Health Hospital to negotiate their first contract. Today, I want to talk about partnership, the partnership between Metro Health and the nurses who sustain their behavioral health programs. While we appreciate Metro's collaborative approach to working with us on some issues that are fundamental to any union contract, Metro has not engaged in meaningful discussions about workplace safety, nor has it implemented the basic safety improvements necessary to prevent violence. We are not asking for luxuries. Nurses are asking for the ability to do their jobs without being physically assaulted, without being placed in dangerous situations, without being forced to manage patient mixes that are unsafe. A casual consumer of the news is likely aware that nurses and other healthcare professionals are being threatened and assaulted at an alarming rate. 4 weeks ago, a nurse at OSU was shoved against a wall and strangled by a visitor. Multiple Ohio hospitals have experienced gun violence and bomb threats. Just last week, on December 4th, a hospital social worker was tragically stabbed to death in San Francisco. These are not isolated incidents. They can happen here in Cuyahoga County, and as other speakers will testify about, horrific assaults against nurses and other healthcare workers have already happened at the Behavioral Health Hospital. We want evidence-based protocols, safe staffing, which includes patient support advocates and other non-clinical staff, and a fair contract. We want to be treated as partners in care. Metro may tell you behind the scenes that more healthcare professionals will not prevent tragedies, but the evidence is clear and compelling. Appropriate staffing and trained professionals keeps patients, visitors, and staff safe. Thank you.
Anna Pawaski.
I am Anna Pulaski. My name is Anna Pulaski. I am here in my capacity as a Cuyahoga County resident to speak in support of the Metro Health behavioral health nurses who were semi-recently unionized with the Ohio Nurses Association. I want to congratulate these nurses on their unionization, and I want to remind all of us how thankful we should be that they stepped up and decided to do this. I don't think council is aware of how dangerous a place a hospital can be and how our private hospitals tend to suppress the actual violence and dangerous nature of the nursing profession. I believe that all nurses in Cuyahoga County should be unionized. I am the daughter of a Cleveland Clinic nurse, and I have a sibling who has acute mental health issues and often spends a lot of time in inpatient behavioral care. It can happen to anyone, and we need to also be thinking about the patients, not just the nurses, that this violence affects them too. The nurses are just asking for a separate unit for violent and aggressive patients and more effective nurse-to-patient ratios on the floor. I don't think that that's too much to ask for, especially considering the high stakes of their jobs and how nurses can lose their license when tragedies happen, and it is no fault of their own. So I really urge council to pressure the Metro Health Board to bargain in good faith, get these nurses an amazing first contract, and set a standard for nursing contracts across Cuyahoga County, because we absolutely need it. We cannot let the public be in the dark about this, especially considering healthcare is a huge part of our local economy. I yield the rest of my time.
Jeff Bettinger.
Mr. Miller, council members, thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today regarding the Metro Behavioral Health Hospital. My name is Jeff Bettinger. I am Vice President of the Nurses Union. My coworkers and I decided to form a union because of workplace violence assaults that were not addressed by the former CEO of Metro Health. These concerns continue to apply today. Currently, violent and sexually aggressive patients are admitted to the same unit as nonviolent and non-sexually aggressive patients. This leads to a dangerous and non-healing environment. Patients are afraid to come out of their rooms, and nurses are subjected to assaults. One patient was assaulted by his roommate in the middle of the night during his sleep. Imagine being admitted for depression and suicidal thoughts and having to be subjected to violent or sexually aggressive behavior. Also, many of my coworkers have been assaulted. After being assaulted and diagnosed with a concussion, one former coworker stated he is still having issues with memory, dizziness, balance, falling, sleep, and severe migraine headaches. Another former coworker was concussed on 2 separate occasions. On one occasion, he was asked to continue working the same day while holding a cup collecting blood that was dripping down from his mouth. With my suggestion, the addition of patient safety assistance has helped. However, I am asking for an acute unit to admit violent and sexually aggressive patients with increased staff and 24/7 Metro Police presence. This would allow the nonviolent patients to heal and make the likelihood of assaults on staff greatly reduced. At the same time, giving greater attention to the acute needs of our violent patients who need more intensive care. My goal is to make Metro Health #1 in public health care. Thank you, council, for your continued support.
Jeff Deeringer.
Good evening, County Council members. Thank you for the opportunity to provide public comment today. My name is Jeff Derringer. I'm a political and research strategist for SEIU District 1199, West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio. We represent more than 25,000 workers across our 3 states, as well as being Ohio's largest healthcare union. I'm here tonight to speak about an ongoing situation we have with our members at Belfair Jewish Children's Bureau. For more than 20 years, we've represented over 300 workers at Belfair, including counselors, therapists, child care workers, autism specialists, teachers, and others who serve on the front lines, providing vital services to Cuyahoga County's most vulnerable communities. In September of this year, Belfair legally withdrew recognition of the union 5 days before our contract expired, has since threatened discipline workers for standing up for their federally protected union rights, and has offered raises and other benefits to oppose the union. Belfair claims it is religiously exempt from complying with federal labor law because its programming provides a religious educational environment. Belfair JCB receives millions of dollars in public funds from Cuyahoga County each year for crisis prevention for at-risk youth, as well as for foster care and adoption services. These services are vital, but how can you trust an organization to provide quality care when they refuse to treat their workers with dignity and respect and illegally silencing their voices? It is imperative that the organizations the county chooses to fund provide quality jobs and treat their workers fairly. We are asking County Council to review contracts with Belfair JCB to ensure that they're in full compliance and to apply a strict scrutiny to the conduct of Belfair JCB's management. We are not asking the county to enforce federal labor law, but to use its oversight authority. We should not reward organizations with grants and contracts that illegally union bust and mistreat their workers. I also emphasize that they can silence the workers who deliver the services our community needs. How can we trust them not to silence the families who rely on their care? Thank you again for the opportunity to provide public comment. Happy to provide any documentation to council and answer any questions you have.
Thank you.
Bryce Dawson.
Good evening. My name is Bryce Dawson, a community organizer and activist, speaking on behalf of the Workers' Justice Committee. I want to thank Council President Miller, Vice President Conewell, and every member of the Cuyahoga County Council for the opportunity to present public comment. On September 25th, members of the Service Employees International Union, District 1199, were given notice by Belfair Jewish Children's Bureau that following the end of their current contract on October 1st, they would no longer recognize the union, destroying the representation of over 300 employees. Employees, all of which took this job with the understanding that it would be a unionized position, were never given the opportunity to decertify to leave their union. Instead, management has told them that it is over, citing a religious exemption based off of a case involving religious school teachers, not public service employees, such as at Belfair. Currently, Cuyahoga County has contracts for crisis treatment beds and foster and adoption care with Belfair. This critical work, done by SEIU 1199 members, must be supported by workers who know that they are protected and fairly represented. To ensure good work, you must support the worker. And to support the worker, you must support their union. I urge members of the Cuyahoga County Council to express their support for the workers of Belfair to Belfair's management. Remember, to support the workers, you must support their right to recognize their union. Thank you for your time. I yield my remaining.
William Gilmore.
Hello, everybody. My name is William Gilmore. I work for Metro Heights Behavioral Health Care. I am a psychiatric nurse. When I first started that job, they were supposed to have different floors, mood. They were supposed to have the floor for people with behavior issues, but they kind of mixed them all up. On an incident, I was not working on this floor, but I was called to an acute episode with a patient, and I was bit. This patient bit me and held on for a while. He almost like bit my ear off. And the issue was that they didn't follow proper protocol while admitting this patient because they didn't get any blood, they didn't draw any labs, they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know if it was drug induced or if it was a behavior issue. And I just don't feel like we're safe when we work there. And they're doing a lot of other things, like letting patients come on the floor with wheelchairs. And I mean, how can you put patients on the floor with wheelchairs when they can hurt other patients? And it might not even be the patient that's in a wheelchair. It could be one of the other violent patients. And there's no separation. We do need an acute floor for those patients so we can be safe. And a lot of my coworkers have been hurt. And it's not a safe environment to work when you don't have any protocols or you're not following rules and you just putting patients that shouldn't be there. And this patient that bit me had a history of violence and was here before, so it's not like it was somebody that was new. They knew what type of patient he was, and they still accepted him. And we didn't have enough staff or for safety precautions to take care of him and other patients. Thank you. Yeah, I yield my rest of my minutes.
Patricia Kane.
Giving me the opportunity to speak. Like I said, my name is Patricia Kane. I've been a bedside nurse for 22 years.
Ms. Kane, if you could pull the microphone down to you. To make...
Sorry. I've been a bedside nurse for 22 years. I worked at Metro for 3, and I'm the president of our union that represents a psychiatric hospital. And I'm here to talk to you about the crisis that's happening now at Metro's Behavioral Health Hospital in Cleveland Heights. Both patients and staff are being put in harm's way because of the reckless decisions of Metro's management. They know that there's problems, but they're choosing to do nothing about them. In the past 3 years, we've lost roughly 45% of our nursing staff. They've left. But when it came time for us to unionize, the union won 95% of the vote. And workplace safety was a chief concern that motivated my peers to vote union yes. But workplace safety was also the chief motivator that motivated 45% of my peers to quit. I know our job comes with risks, but they're confusing risks with abuse, and we are being abused. We're being assaulted while we're trying to provide care for our community's most vulnerable. And Metro provides us with an environment where we're experience broken bones, traumatic brain injuries, bloody lips. You know, you've heard about quite a bit of it. There's even nurses who have been grabbed and harmed in a sexual way. And when these problems were raised to management, management's response was, in so many words, well, the unit would be safer if you weren't on your cell phones or if you were out from behind the nurse's station. So we were being called lazy. The solution isn't complicated. Metro needs to bargain in good faith and implement evidence-based safety precautions. They're not doing that, and that's what our union wants to do. We're in the middle of negotiations right now. We want to partner. We want solutions. And we're asking for you to please impress upon them that when we come to the table and we make demands, that we need to be heard. Thanks very much.
Hiawatha Powell.
Greetings. It looks like I'm going to be the last, but certainly not least. Whoever came up with this budget.
Mr. Powell, if you could state your name for the record, please.
Hiawatha Powell. I'm a resident, so I'm coming here represent. Can y'all start my minute over? Because I had to adjust y'all wanted me to state my name. But the lady came up here, and she said it just right. This is disastrous. You know, we're being overtaxed, you know, and having to, you know, make changes in our household, you know. Cuyahoga County should not be known for being one of the highest taxing authority counties in Ohio. You know, we had an 8% car sale tax. When you look around businesses, they just had a list of all the businesses downtown that closed down. So we don't have no more COVID funds. For them to be able to take COVID funds from last year and put $97 million into the general budget in order to kind of make it look like we broke even, and then we on tax to be in a deficit of $43 million this year, and you're going to use some of your COVID money to try to cover that. But we don't have no more COVID money. And this is not about just kind of like doing enough to meet whatever the budget. We need a budget to work for the people. A lot of people in this county, they're very dissatisfied with the services that they are getting. This county is very top heavy, you know, and you guys we need a Doge. We need somebody to come in here to be able to look at and examine what it is that this county do, because we may not be able to continue to do some of the things that we have done in the past. But we may need to merge some things, make some cuts. But the way this budget is currently set up, we're going to be just like some of these other cities. We're on the verge. We don't want to be millions and millions of dollars in deficit. And the way this budget is set up right now, we're pushing on being $140 million in the hole. So we need to send these people back to the county, send them back to the drawing board. The other thing I want to address real quick, there's $20 million built in overtime. How are you building in over $20 million of overtime? You know, so.
I'm sorry, but your time is.
I know it's up,
Please
but I just wanted to make sure, I want y'all to go back to the drawing board. Remember us.
That concludes the public comment portion for tonight's meeting.
Thank you very much, everybody, for giving your comments and sharing your concerns. The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for the November 25th, 2025 regular meeting?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes are approved. Under announcements from the council president, in accordance with Rule 6B of the council rules, I'd like to make a motion to add resolutions number 2025-0364 and 2025-0365 to the agenda as additional items after item number 10 for consideration for first reading suspension of the rules. And these are the two items regarding the TIF districts. Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion is agreed to, and the two items are added to the agenda. I would now call upon the county executive for any comments.
Thank you, Council President, members of council, members of the public. Thanks for all the work this past year as we wrap up our council meetings this year. And just, again, want to say I appreciate working with you and the work that we do together with the community. I just want to start out with a note of condolence to one of our colleagues in Lake County, Commission President of the County Commissioners of Lake County, Rich Regovich, passed away just after the Thanksgiving holiday. He was a great partner at NOACA, worked with us on economic development across county lines, and I just wanted to put hearts out to his family and note his distinguished service in our region, and that's Commissioner Rich Regovich. Last week, Council President, members of council, I had a chance to meet with the County Commissioners Association of Ohio, and I just wanted to let you know that we saw a presentation from the governor's administration about an idea that got started up here with your partnership and support, and that was about child wellness centers. It was redeeming to see the governor's representatives talk about their plans for 5 child wellness centers for kids that are experiencing homelessness and trauma in their families. That idea started here with you when we built the Child Wellness Center in your district, Councilman Sweeney, on Lorraine and 112th, and we continue to build that out. But it's a great civic idea that was born in Cuyahoga County and is now multiplying throughout the state of Ohio to better help our kids. I just wanted to share that story with you because those are the stories that don't always make all the headlines, but it's the work that matters, and we appreciate your partnership in building out the Cuyahoga County Child Wellness Center. I was with Councilman Gallagher last week and just wanted to honor the service of Lisa Vizer, who was a township trustee in Olmsted Township. Maybe Councilman Gallagher's got more to say about her, but distinguished 10-year service in in Olmsted Township, and she's retiring this year, and just wanted to say congratulations to Lisa. While I'm congratulating elected officials, I'd be remiss if I didn't congratulate Councilman Mark Castleberry on having what I've seen, the greatest holiday light collection on his home in all of the county. I think the Griswold family's got nothing on the Castleberry family. But congratulations, Mark, and thanks for hosting your neighborhood and the whole neighborhood of Cuyahoga County to meet you in the front yard the other night. And on Friday, we celebrated the opening of Cantonese Classic Seafood in Collinwood. And I just wanted to thank you for the support on the loan that Cuyahoga County provided to retain 150 jobs in Cuyahoga County, and notably in the city of Cleveland, as they needed to grow and are now growing at the food bank. They import seafood from all over the world here to Cleveland and distribute it all throughout Cleveland and markets throughout the Midwest and the West. Hats off to Jim and John Cantonese for re-upping on their commitment to Cuyahoga County, and it was good also to see former Councilman Jack Schron out at the event because it's next door to his business at Jurgens. But that's 150 jobs retained in Cuyahoga County because of a partnership with the county and the city and others that kept those jobs here. Wanted to thank the many nonprofits working in service throughout the county to our constituents. I've named many in the past, and you've worked with so many. One of the visits I had this week was at the Kids Book Bank, and I just wanted to shout out to them and the Cleveland Cavaliers for the bookmobile. They're distributing upwards of 1 million books a year throughout this greater Cleveland region, and helping with literacy development, child word vocabulary, and getting kids school ready for preschool and kindergarten. And just wanted to say thanks to the Kids Book Bank. All I want for the holidays is a functional Hopkins Airport. The initial traffic report that has come in on the proposed Cleveland Browns Stadium from their consultant Davey shows a really rough report card of traffic jams on the horizon with the proposed future stadium in Brook Park, as some of us have predicted. Right now, the stadium site location shows levels of service that are graded by ODOT on an A through F scale. A future intersection at I-71 and Bagley receives an F. E for even worse on the scale of A through F to E. The worst grade you can get is at 237, which is at the front door of Cleveland Hopkins Airport. We go on and we could talk about Snow and Smith Road. These are concerns. These are concerns for communities like Middleburg Heights that has on Bagley Road a hospital that we need to get patients to and through. Our airport customers that need to get to flights when they might not be going to a Browns game or might not be going to a big concert and might not have checked the concert schedule on a Thursday night with 70,000 people next door. We have a real problem, Houston, and I just want to put it on your radar at year's end. We've predicted it. We haven't seen the state rise to do anything about it, and all we see right now is a future-looking report card that says we have a fail with this new stadium proposed site in Brook Park, as some of us have predicted. On a brighter note, I want to thank the student panelists of the Freshwater Institute who spoke to 150 water professionals and partners yesterday. We launched the Freshwater Institute this January. We worked with scores of community high schools on helping kids learn about the fresh water in front of us, the 21% of the fresh water supply in the world that is at our front door. And I think, as Councilman Turner, who was there, could attest, we've got some really bright lights and next generation water warriors that are going to keep our water clean. We'll be back with a 2026 agenda with the Freshwater Institute. I want to thank publicly Congressman Shontel Brown also for helping us with Swim Ready lessons for kids at the 4th grade level. So we had high school kids in a specialized program about education on the Great Lakes, and we had kids in the grade schools learning to swim, which is going to deal with the difficulty of a disproportionate number of persons from our county drowning. And so the Freshwater Institute is off and running. I'm proud to be the national chair of the Great Lakes Forum, which is a part of the National Association of County Officials representing you in 214 other counties across the Great Lakes. We got something going here in Cleveland. Finally, in our advocacy agenda will continue, but we'd invite you at any time to be with us in any one of our forums to further discuss water quality, infrastructure, energy, economic development, and the blue economy. And then I do want to say it's a $6 trillion economy that we are a part of. It's the 3rd largest economy in the world if you strip us out from the U.S. itself, the U.S., China, and then us and the Great Lakes are the third largest economy. We were at Music Box Supper Club for that event, and speaking of music, we're taking the band on the road on Thursday for the second live music task force meeting. You're all invited. It's going to feature Sean Watterson from the Happy Dog giving the good report that Cuyahoga County live music venues are producing $750 million in GDP to the state of Ohio through the work at these wonderful music venues here in Cuyahoga County. But we got to support them because many of them aren't growing. They're continuing to produce, but not growing and trying to stay afloat. And Ohio State Senator Kent Smith will be with us as well. He's introduced Senate Bill 186, which is a liquor tax rebate to support live musicians on the stage. That meeting is Thursday at 4 o'clock at 66 next to the Cleveland Foundation at 66 Euclid and Chester. And just want to say, again, as a wrap-up, sorry for the long report, but it's the last one of the year. Appreciate all your partnership and all of these things, and wanted to wish you and your families and all the citizens and their families a happy holidays ahead. Thanks for your work.
Thank you very much for that report. We now turn to legislation introduced by council, consideration of resolutions of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2025-0348, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to Resource Cleveland for the purpose of funding a new component of the Newcomer Navigators Program from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Refer to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2025-0349, awarding a total sum not to exceed $15,000 to the Building and Leveraging Opportunities Foundation for the purpose of the Leadership, Legacy, and Lifelong Learning Initiative Project from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Refer to the Education, Environment, and Sustainability Committee. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions of council for second reading.
Resolution 2025-0231, awarding a total sum not to exceed $13,000 to the Greater Cleveland Delta Life Foundation, Life Development Center, Incorporated, for the Freedom Garden of Literacy Project from the Districts 2, 7, and 9 ARPA Community Grant Funds.
This item will move to the January 13th, 2026 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2025-0327, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to Future Heights, Inc. for the Taylor Merchants Association project from the District 8 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
There is a proposed substitute on this item. I will ask Trevor McAleer to present it.
Good afternoon, Trevor McAleer, County Council staff. In your packet is a proposed substitute that would increase the total award to Future Heights to $20,000. This was presented in last week's Community Development and Housing Committee. Currently, it's being funded $10,000 out of the District 8 ARPA Community Grant Fund, and the proposed substitute adds $10,000 from the District 10 ARPA Community Grant Fund for a total award of $20,000.
Do I have a motion to accept the proposed substitute?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed substitute. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The substitute is accepted, and this item will, as substituted, it will move to the January 13th, 2026 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee report and consideration of a resolution of council for second reading adoption under suspension of the rules. Do I have a motion to suspend the rule requiring 3 readings?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to suspend the rules. All those in favor of the suspension say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2025-0328, approving the Metro Health System's policies and procedures to participate in one or more joint purchasing associations for the purpose of acquiring supplies, equipment, and services provided through joint purchasing arrangements to achieve beneficial purchasing arrangements for calendar year 2026 in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, Section 339.05.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Councilman Jones, this is your item on the Metro
The joint agreement.
joint contract.
It's a routine agreement. We see it annually. It was fully vetted in committee, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adoption say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions of council for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2025-0309, awarding a total sum not to exceed $25,000 to the Growing Right Over Wealth for the purpose of the Mothers to Provider Safety and Compliance Access Project from the Districts 3, 7, and 11 ARPA Community Grant Funds.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. This resolution, the program was heard in committee, I think chaired by Councilman Yvonne Conwell, and I want to thank my colleagues for adding into the award. Do you want to speak to the work, Chairwoman? No? Okay, thank you. I ask for your support.
All those in favor of adoption say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Through the chair, would you add my name?
Please add the councilperson's name.
Resolution 2025-0310, amending Rules 8 and 17 of the Cuyahoga County Rules of Council to establish additional guidelines and procedures for decorum and public comment at council and committee meetings.
Move to adopt. When council amended the rules on public comment last year, we provided a sunset so that these rules would be reviewed a year later. The rules have worked well, and this resolution provides a permanent rule, which includes some minor amendments. Favoring allowing a maximum number of speakers within a reasonable time, the rule keeps the provision for up to 30 speakers per meeting at 2 minutes each. The new rule tweaks the language on decorum to be more closely aligned with rules in other jurisdictions which have been challenged in court and approved. I ask for the support of my colleagues for the resolution. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of adoption say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted. Legislation introduced by executive, consideration of resolutions for first reading adoption under suspension of the rules. May I have a motion to suspend the rules requiring referral to committee and being read 3 times?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend the rules. All those in favor of the suspension say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2025-0350, amending the 2024-2025 biennial operating budget for 2025 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations, appropriation transfers, and cash transfers.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Good evening, council members. Before I provide a description of the fiscal agenda, we have a proposed substitute. Since this is the last fiscal agenda of the year, OBM requested some additional appropriations, which are items AG and AH, and an appropriation transfer, which is item O, to close out the year. Departments added are probate court, the fiscal office, and the sheriff's office. The proposed substitute also deletes the cash transfer item E. This item would transfer the $3 million from the 9/11 fund to the general fund. The council president is still working with the administration on this transfer, which the discussion will carry over into 2026. The proposed substitute also includes some accounting units. I'd like to move to accept the proposed substitute with this deletion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion further? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the proposed substitute, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The substitute is accepted. Is there any further discussion on the resolution as substituted?
May I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. This is the county's regular biweekly fiscal resolution. You should have the questions from OBM in front of you. It includes a year-end appropriation. It includes year-end appropriation increases, appropriation transfers, and cash transfers across multiple departments. The resolution mostly provides targeted adjustments so departments can meet payroll, cover controlled costs, and close out grants accurately for the departments included but not limited to archives, sheriffs, public works, and the medical examiner. The fiscal agenda also includes an additional appropriation to provide funding for juvenile courts insurance of 1.5% lump sum payment to eligible staff. These payments are funded through the court's Title IV-E Special Revenue Fund. Finally, the resolution includes second half HHS levy subsidies for the following agencies: Children and Family Services, Job and Family Services for administrative services, Senior and Adult Services, Child Support, Homeless Services, Early Start, Invest in Children, Fatherhood Initiative, the Adams Board, Witness and Victim Services. I urge my colleagues to support this item.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting the resolution on its merits as substituted, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0351, approving a proposed settlement in the matter of Georgiana M. Semery versus Leslie Ann Celebrezzi et al., Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court, case number CV 23984974.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was discussed in executive session earlier today. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0352, approving a collective bargaining agreement between the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas, General Division, and the Fraternal Order of Police Ohio Labor Council, representing approximately 172 employees of the Probation Department for the period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2028.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was also discussed in executive session. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The resolution is adopted.
All those in favor, we need an overall vote.
Yep. All those in favor of adoption say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Mr. President, Council Rule 9C allows for the reading of very similar items by abbreviated titles. Therefore, items 4 through 10 will be read into the record by abbreviated titles if there are no objections.
Please proceed.
Resolution 2025-0353, approving an amendment to a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, Ohio Council 8, AFL-CIO, Local 1746, representing approximately 1,203 employees in 15 classifications at the Cuyahoga Job and Family Services and the Division of Children and Family Services and Division of Senior and Adult Services for the period July 1st, 2023 through June 30th, 2026 to establish the terms of the 2026 health insurance reopener and to amend Article 72.
Move to adopt. This and the next 6 items were all discussed in executive session, and they were simply reopeners of the final year of the labor contract, and the agreements are in line with our general pattern on the 2% cost of living adjustment and the distribution of health care benefits. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0354, a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and the Printing, Packaging, and Production Workers Union of North America, Local 25M of District Council 3, representing 4 employees in the Cuyahoga County Print Shop for the period February 1st, 2024 through January 31st, 2027, to establish the terms of the health insurance and wage reopeners and to modify Articles 13 and 25.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0355, a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and the Communication Workers of America, Local 4340, Sheriff's Clerks Bargaining Unit, representing approximately 43 employees in various classifications at the Sheriff's Department, for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026, to establish the terms of the wage and health insurance reopeners for 2026, and to modify Articles 12 and 15.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0356, a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and Communication Workers of America, Local 4340, Clerk of Courts Bargaining Unit, representing approximately 68 employees in various classifications in the Clerk of Courts office, for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026, to establish the terms of the wage and health insurance reopeners for 2026 and to modify Articles 12 and 14.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0357, a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and the Teamsters Local 436, affiliated with the International Brotherhood of Teamsters, representing approximately 46 employees in 14 classifications from the Cuyahoga County Department of Public Works Maintenance Division for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026, to establish the terms of the wage reopener and to modify Article 31.
Move to adopt. All those in favor of adoption, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0358, a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and Laborers International Union of North America, Local 860, representing approximately 77 employees in 3 classifications in the Department of Public Works Sanitary Sewer Division for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0359, a collective bargaining agreement between Cuyahoga County and excavating, building material, construction drivers, racetrack employees, public employees, manufacturing, processing, assembling, and installer employees, local union number 436, affiliated with International Brotherhood of Teamsters, representing approximately 11 employees in the classification of Deputy Dog Warden in the Department of Public Works, Animal Division of Animal Shelter, and is for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026, to establish the terms of the health care and wage reopeners and to modify Articles 37 and 38.
Move to adopt.
Second.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Moving on to the additional items, Resolution 2025-0364, objecting to the creation of 3 residential tax increment financing incentive districts under Ohio Revised Code Section 5709.40 by the City of Brooklyn.
Is there a motion to adopt? I so move. Is there a second?
Second.
Who
This-
seconded, please?
Councilman
Thank
Kelly.
you.
And this is the item that we discussed in open session in the Committee of the Whole regarding the tax increment financing district. Passage of this objection would help protect the county's tax base and enable the administration to negotiate with the city on the final terms of the TIF district. Any further discussion? All those in favor of adoption say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0365, objecting to the creation of a tax increment financing incentive district under Ohio Revised Code, Section 5709.40 by the City of Independence.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This is a similar situation regarding a proposed tax increment financing district in the City of Independence. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of adoption say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2025-0360, authorizing an economic development loan in an amount not to exceed $2 million to Friends of Mendelssohn to assist with the funding project costs of a historic restoration and adaptive reuse of 75,000 square feet of space in the Park Synagogue located at 3300 Mayfield Road in the city of Cleveland Heights.
Refer to the Economic Development and Planning Committee.
Please add my name.
Please add the councilperson's name.
Resolution 2025-0361, making an award on requisition 16239 to various providers in the total amount not to exceed $1,260,000 for infant and early childhood mental health services in connection with the Invest in Children program for the period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027 for the various providers A through G.
Refer to the Education, Environment, and Sustainability Committee.
Resolution 2025-0362, authorizing a contract with Educational Service Center of Northeast Ohio in the amount not to exceed $900,000 for fiscal agent and administrative services in connection with the Bright Beginnings System and Parent Support Program under the Invest in Children program for the period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027.
Also refer to Education, Environment, and Sustainability.
Resolution 2025-0363, amending resolution number R 2024-0353, dated October 22nd, 2024, which authorized a contract with Axon Enterprise, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $20,992,729.28 for a state contract purchase of various hardware, software, maintenance, and support used to expedite intelligence gathering and efficiency of response to situations for community safety initiatives for a period January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2029 by adjusting the specified funding source.
Refer to the Public Safety and Justice Affairs Committee. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading.
Resolution 2025-0335, amending resolution number 2024-0187, dated June 4th, 2024, which declared public convenience and welfare for the reconstruction of Lee Road by changing the termini from Invermere Avenue to the North Corporation Line to Throckley Avenue in the North Corporation Line in the cities of Cleveland and Shaker Heights in connection with the 2024-2027 Transportation Improvement Program.
This item will move to the January 13th, 2026 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2025-0347, adopting the 2025 through 2030 Cuyahoga County Climate Action Plan as part of the county's sustainability strategy in accordance with Section 202.18 of the Cuyahoga County Code.
This item will move to the January 13th, 2026 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Please add my name.
Yes, would you add my name?
Mine as well, Schlepper.
Duly noted.
Please add my name as well. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of the rules. Do I have a motion to suspend the rule requiring 3 readings?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rule.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend the rules. All those in favor of suspension, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2025-0333, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Meltrice Sharp to serve on the Cuyahoga County Audit Committee for the term January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2029.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Sharp presented through Zoom. She is going to do a wonderful job. The audit committee has a great committee members, and I ask my colleagues to support this piece of legislation.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Please add my name.
Please add Councilman Hauser's name.
Resolution 2025-0334, confirming the county executive's appointment of Laurel Domansky Diaz to serve on the Cuyahoga County Community-Based Correctional Facility Governing Board for an unexpired term ending December 31st, 2027.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Diaz came and presented. We kind of went down memory lane a little bit with the community-based correctional facility and how Nancy McDonald spearheaded this. We were the last one of all counties to have this particular facility, and it's having a tremendous impact. I want to commend the county executive for putting a board together that is going to continue the legacy of Judge Nancy McDonald. So I ask my colleagues to support this.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0336, making an award on requisition 16269 to Trumbull Construction LLC, doing business as RBT Roofing, in the amount not to exceed $5,364,470 for Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Building Roof Replacement Project, effective upon signatures of all parties through the project's completion.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? I'll just make a comment that this is a major construction project where we received a new bidder that came in considerably lower than any of the other bidders, and so it just suggests the benefits of having a robust reach out and encouraging as many as possible to bid on our items. Any further discussion?
Thank you, Council President, and again, it was fully vetted in committee, and I do ask for my colleagues' support.
Council President, I have a question. Wasn't this to be a solar installation or no? Never?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to your knowledge.
Can
Did anybody in committee ask about
Anybody from the
solar?
administration?
I apologize. I'm not on the committee.
No problem.
Good evening, council members. Matt Reimer representing Director Dever in the Department of Public Works. Through the council president, Councilwoman Simon. No, the solar power purchase agreement back from I can't remember when Director Foley instituted that power purchase agreement with AEP. It installed solar on the garage roof of the medical examiner's building. So that's an installation that's been in place for several years.
I don't know the size of that from a megawatt perspective, but that's already been installed and in operation. In this roof, this is not envisioned. There's so much mechanical equipment on the top of this roof, it's not feasible.
Mechanical equipment associated with the medical examiner, or just the building itself just has a lot of stuff on top?
Both.
Both?
Both.
Okay.
Building systems equipment as well as medical examiner-specific mechanical equipment
Got
that
it.
comes up from the lab spaces.
Okay, I did remember we were looking at the garage and maybe more, but that's why. Okay, thank you.
Yes, so just the
Yes.
garage for solar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so we've had a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this item? Hearing none. All those in favor of adoption say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0337, amending Resolution R 2025-0065 dated February 11, 2025, which amended Resolution Number R 2022-0405 dated December 6, 2022, which approved Cuyahoga County match funding forgivable loans for various projects in connection with the State of Ohio Brownfield Remediation Funding Match Program for the period December 1st, 2022 through November 30th, 2025 by extending the sunset date applicable to the Warner and Swayze loan from November 30th, 2025 to December 31st, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Second.
There is a substitute, and I would ask Trevor McAleer to describe the substitute.
Good afternoon again, Trevor McAleer, County Council staff. In your packet is a proposed substitute to this resolution. This was presented in the Community Development and Housing Committee last week. What the proposed substitute does is clarify the borrower's name. The loan would go to Midtown Cleveland, which is the same borrower that would get the community development award that council approved going now probably over a year. So the proposed substitute just clarifies who the borrower is as presented in committee, and then states what the project is for, which is the Warner and Swayze building.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to accept the proposed substitute?
So moved.
Is there a second? It's been moved and seconded to accept the substitute. Any discussion on the substitute? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The substitute is accepted and is now the version before the council. Any further discussion on the motion as substituted? Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting the resolution on its merits as substituted, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0338, authorizing an economic development loan in the amount not to exceed $2 million to Village of Joy Corporation or their designee to facilitate the development of a birthing center located at 1792 East 65th Street in the city of Cleveland.
Mr. President and my colleagues, this item was presented in committee on December 1st by the Department of Development. This loan will go towards the build-out of a birthing center operated by the nonprofit Birthing Beautiful Communities and will establish a dedicated center for women as an additional option for the birthing process. At least 9 new full-time jobs will be created and will be much-needed service to the Huff neighborhood. And I make a motion to accept this.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing
Got
none.
my name added.
Was that Councilman Hauser?
That was Councilmember Jones.
Yeah, my name.
I'd like
Okay.
my name added as well.
Schlepper as well, please.
Okay. All those in favor of adoption, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0339, making awards to various municipalities in the total amount of $3,235,983.69 for various projects or programs in connection with the fiscal year 2026 Community Development Block Grant Program for the period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026, and the Community Development Block Grant CV for the period November 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2026 for the various municipalities listed A through T.
Is there a motion to adopt?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
This was heard in committee. I ask for my colleagues' support.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0340, authorizing an amendment to a master agreement with various providers for various programs and resources for the Cuyahoga County Fatherhood Initiative for the period April 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025, to extend the time period to March 31st, 2027, to amend the terms and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $971,812.50, effective January 1st, 2026, for the various providers listed A through K.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President and colleagues, this is a routine master agreement that preserves father-child bonding during different phases and ages of our children, and I ask that we continue to support.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Please add my name.
Please add the councilperson's name. I believe that was Turner. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Thank you.
Okay.
Resolution 2025-0341, authorizing a contract with United Way of Greater Cleveland in the amount not to exceed $2,034,158 for fiscal agent services and emergency food purchase assistance by hunger centers serving eligible Cuyahoga County residents for the period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We've had a representative from United Way, Food Bank, as well as Hunger Network in the committee to share the current status of families during the federal government shutdown and the increase in families that are still coming to all of their doors. So I ask my colleagues, this is a routine annual agreement that we have to try to be a safety net for the families that are in need. So I ask my colleagues for support.
Please add my name.
And Turner.
And Conwell.
Turner, Conwell.
Sweeney.
Sweeney.
Mr. President, add my name as well, please. Castleberry.
Castleberry.
Kelly.
Hauser.
Kelly.
Yeah, my name as well.
Hauser.
Why not Schlepper?
Okay.
But two.
Mr. Bandwagon.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0342, making an award on requisition 15957 to various municipalities and providers in the total amount not to exceed $6,955,043.10 for the Community Social Services Program effective January 1st, 2026 through March 31st, 2028 for the various providers A through double F.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I ask my colleagues to support this routine legislation. It helps our seniors across Cuyahoga County. It's a much-needed contract, so I ask for your support.
Please add my name.
Add my name as well, please. Castleberry.
Schlepper.
Sweeney.
Conwell.
Jones.
Okay, duly noted.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0343, authorizing a contract with Child Care Resource Center of Cuyahoga County, doing business as Starting Point, in the amount not to exceed $2,282,500 for a sole source purchase to provide out-of-school time services for youth in Cuyahoga County, effective January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This matter was heard in committee. This is a great program that helps keep kids off the streets after school and provides all kinds of things, including tutoring. I ask for your support.
Please add my name.
Schlepper as well.
Turner.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Councilmember Conwell has also requested her name be added as a sponsor. Resolution 2025-0344, authorizing a contract with Family Connections of Northeast Ohio in the amount not to exceed $925,200 for program administration and direct services for the supporting partnerships to Assure Ready Kids, also known as the SPARK program, for Invest in Children for the period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027.
Move to adopt. Thank you. This resolution was heard in committee. This is one of my favorite programs at Spark. Through Invest in Children, workers go into homes and make sure everything is taken care of. But what's most important is that they help kids learn to read. And if the kids aren't able, they help the parents as well. They often find that parents are struggling with reading and provide books. And this is really important because it's one thing to give books and pay for books and send them to homes. But nobody really knows what, if the parents are reading, can they read? But this provides that service, and it's really comprehensive. And I don't think anything's more important than reading at this age. So I ask for your support. Oh, and by the way, there's metrics involved with this through CASE that actually can verify how well the program is doing. And I think that's really important when we look at options for reading and books, to look at programs that actually provide metrics. And with county dollars being short, we need to stretch them in the most effective manner.
Please add my name.
Schlepper as well.
Add Castleberry as well, please.
Jones.
Turner.
And of course, mine if it's not there. So
Sweeney. Kelly, please.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0345, authorizing a contract with Child Care Resource Center of Cuyahoga County, doing business as Starting Point, in the amount not to exceed $1,657,730 for the Special Needs Child Care Program for the period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. Another contract, important program, heard in committee. I ask for your support.
Please add my name.
Please add my name, Sweeney.
Turner.
Please add Castleberry.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
And also, Councilmember Conwell has requested her name be added to Resolution 0344 and 0345. Resolution 2025-0346, authorizing a contract with Child Care Resource Center of Cuyahoga County, doing business as Starting Point, in the amount not to exceed $1,095,106 for management and administration of the Family Child Care Home Professional Development System for the period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. We heard this program in committee. I ask for your support. What this does, it provides support for home care, child care professionals in their home. We know that these child care professionals are underpaid. There's a shortage, which impacts people being able to work, go to work, economic development, and everything that we need to build a strong county. So this is where it starts, and it's a shame we can't give more money to provide salaries for these in-home health child care workers. So this is something special we do in Cuyahoga and train these in-home care people to be professional, and let's keep supporting them.
Please add my name.
Schlepper.
Turner.
Castleberry.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Also, Councilmember Conwell has requested that her name be added to this legislation as well.
Consideration of resolutions for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2025-0293, adopting the 2026-2027 biennial operating budget and capital improvements program.
Move to adopt. Any discussion? Councilwoman Turner, Chairperson of the Finance and Budgeting Committee.
Thank you. I wasn't sure if I was going to go first or you. Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, today we consider the biennial budget for the 2026-2027 fiscal years after months of public discussion, careful review, and thoughtful debate. Before I begin, I want to offer special recognition to Council President Miller for his steady guidance and active engagement throughout this entire process. His experience has truly been invaluable. As American businessman in his book, Leadership is an Art, Max Dupree reminds us, the first responsibility of leadership is to define reality. The last is to say thank you. And in between, the leader is a servant. This budget cycle demanded more of us than any in recent memory. The needs were significant, the constraints were real, and the decisions before us were often very difficult. Yet through discipline, transparency, and an unwavering commitment to the people of Cuyahoga County, we have produced a balanced, responsible, and values-driven budget. I want to also express my deep appreciation to County Executive Chris Ronayne, Chief Yanis, OBM Director Walter Parfiowicz, Fiscal Officer Mike Chambers, Chief Katie Gallagher, and OBM Deputy Director Shantae McCurdy for putting up with me, and the entire OBM team. Their collaboration and professionalism carried this process from our early August meetings to the final hearings just days ago. I also want to sincerely thank my council colleagues, including Vice President Conwell and our council staff, especially Trevor McAleer. Trevor put especially in here. I didn't say that. Especially Trevor McAleer. And Chief of Staff Nani for their tireless work throughout this process. And I'm grateful for the many residents and advocates who came forward to testify. Your voices did not merely inform this budget, they strengthened it. In my first year as chair of the Finance and Budgeting Committee, I have been involved in every step of this process. I'm grateful for the insight, candor, and partnership offered by each department, each director, and every member of this body. Through every question, every presentation, and every perspective, one truth became clear. Cuyahoga County operates as an interconnected system. Public safety, justice, health, housing, infrastructure, youth services, and environmental stewardship do not function in isolation. When one area is strained, the entire system feels it. This budget reflects that understanding. We reinforced Metro Health at a decisive moment, recognizing that its stability is essential to the well-being of families across this county. With Metro Health facing significant financial headwinds, restoring the subsidy was not simply an appropriation. It was a commitment to protecting a clinical anchor and community lifeline. We supported public safety and justice partners by prioritizing staffing, continuity, and youth-centered trauma-informed approaches. We strengthened housing and homelessness services, expanding pathways to economic mobility, and invested in modernization, from the voter registration system that secures our elections to the infrastructure that underpins public trust. We advanced environmental resilience, because sustainability is both a fiscal responsibility and a commitment to future generations. And we achieved these priorities while protecting the long-term health of both the general fund and the Health and Human Services Levy Fund through disciplined planning and careful use of reserves. I recognize that not every request could be met in this cycle. As chair, I will, along with my colleagues, my committee, and my leadership, we will continue to evaluate efficiencies, monitor revenues, and responsibly revisit unmet needs, including several juvenile court priorities, if the fiscal outlook strengthens during the biennium. Let me be clear, budgeting is not a moment, it is a discipline. Our responsibility does not begin in October and end in December. It requires year-round vigilance, early communication, measurable outcomes, and a willingness to evaluate and improve our systems continually. So tonight's vote does not close out the work. It sets the direction. A direction rooted in accountability, equity, modernization, and service to every resident of Cuyahoga County, guided by clarity, steadfastness, and purpose. I'm proud of what we accomplished together, and I'm confident in the path ahead. What we do for ourselves dies with us. What we do for our communities live forever. I don't know who said that, but it sounded right. Mr. President, that concludes my remarks, and I ask for my colleagues' support as we continue the work of strengthening this county together.
Further discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mine are similar, but much briefer than the Finance Chair. So I would just like to commend Council President Miller and Finance Chair Turner and all of my colleagues for their due diligence in combing through this budget. As I have stated numerous times to residents and outside agencies, this is the worst budget Council has ever seen since inception of the new form of government. One council member does not determine the budget. It takes all 11 of us to come together and bring forth the needs, the ideas, and a path forward for the departments that fall within the purview of our committees. There is still a great need for funding, so we can continue the trajectory of additional probation officers, preparing for the shortfalls in federal funding for our homeless continuum, and the continuation of finding efficiencies in our sheriff's department. The passing of this budget does not end the work that's ahead of us. The administration and council need to continue to work together along with our other county agency partners so we may all continue with the best services for the residents of Cuyahoga County. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councilman Gallagher.
Thank you, Mr. President. And to start off, I would like to commend the chairwoman. It's not an easy job. I remember back my freshman year in the City Council of Strongsville, I thought it was a wonderful thing when I was appointed finance chair as a freshman. I soon found out why no one else wanted it. There was no money, and there was nothing but troubles and traps, and it's hard to do. My concern with this budget has nothing to do with anybody up here or the administration, quite honestly. It's process and priorities. But I congratulate you. I know it was difficult. I've been through it. It's not easy. So thank you for being who you are. Love you to death. But a budget is the North Star of your organization. It defines priorities and signals the path forward to the community. This budget signals a departure from needs over wants. Any misalignment, as defined by the charter, prioritizes needs. Too often we have focused on the wants, and that must stop. Our tax dollars are finite, and a more focused plan forward should be defined in our budget. This budget does not reflect that necessary direction. It does, however, suggest a priority for nonprofits over the needs of, and I will use the example as no one's surprised, juvenile court. Part of the rejection of the juvenile request was based on allegations of we didn't have enough time for discussion. Yet we knew 18 months in advance that the juvenile court would need programming, planning, and personnel through the committee that this council put together. A claim of too late to change the final legislation was made, yet the legislation was changed 3 hours before the meeting without discussion or explanation. We are left to speculate how something on the no amendment pile moved to the recommended pile, seemingly overnight, certainly within 3 hours. Clearly, a unilateral decision was made by what seems to be some sort of star chamber. The final excuse, if that's the right word, was one-time use of opioid funds was to be avoided. Yet the list on the tab A, as I've given to you all to review, is nothing but mostly one-time funding of opioid funds. These are, if they are excuses, to not fund the juvenile request. I thought we had this in the bag for the 15. I'll rely on the council that after a year we can review this and come back for what is necessary through the committee to the court. The examples presented demonstrated want over need. The budget on paper shows it is balanced. I contend that while it looks balanced, it won't be in November of 2026. As has been the practice, the sheriff will be back for millions to fill the hole that he'll have in his budget, probably next November. As was predicted in 25, 24, 23, you get the gist. Furthermore, we've had zero discussion on backstopping legal judgments and settlements. Those alone will unbalance this budget if settlement or judgment fall within the 2-year budget window. As an example, we just looked at the legislation today that we just paid out $400,000 to an employee who was retaliated against in the course of her job. That money was not budgeted. It came out of the general fund. We have numerous and potential worse legal actions ahead. If these fall within the 2-year window, the budget is just a piece of paper. I stress the choices of the past are negatively affecting us now. We are obligated to fund our core duties and mission. The outside help we seek from the nonprofit world should be revisited and defined with a scalpel. The expansion of government has finally caught up to us. This has gone on for too many years. We need to step back, reevaluate any outside funding, and focus on the core duties that we are obligated to provide. Under various administrations, expansion of government continued to happen. That's not always a bad thing, but it has to be affordable, and the public has to be assured that the funding will be available going forward. That's not always the case. We are now in a world that we have spent our way into what I consider to be a deficit or on the cusp of a deficit. Not all the expansion is necessarily a bad thing, but are they necessary? When deficit spending, those things have to wait. We are not in a funding crisis. We are in a spending crisis. We need to pump the brakes, evaluate need, evaluate successes, and fund appropriately. Going forward, we need to turn over every rock to find relief. One boulder, not a rock, as the executive mentioned, the airport situation is the Haslam development in Brook Park. That's your tab C. The biggest economic development in Cuyahoga County's history warrants discussion. I don't know if this is a good deal or a bad deal, but we owe it to the taxpayers to hear it out in public. It seems that the zeitgeist has been all negative. I don't know if it is negative. Nobody in this room knows if it is negative. All we know is what we hear and what we read, and I think that needs to be ferreted out. We have a serious issue moving forward with the jail build as the future of the Justice Center. What was once $550 million to build a jail is now close to $1 billion. The money available through the extension of the sales tax will not be enough to accomplish both projects, in my opinion, properly. Delay has been devastating. I cannot support what I know to be a budget with so many open ends that I believe will result in backstop funding down the line. Therefore, I will not be, in the 27 years of elected office, I cannot support this budget.
Further discussion. I would like to thank my colleagues, County Executive Ronayne, Trevor McAleer and other council staff, OBM Director Parfiowitz, other chiefs, directors, and staff, and the public for a robust discussion. I particularly commend Finance and Budget Chair Meredith Turner and HHS Chair and Vice President Conwell for their leadership and diligent work in bringing the budget resolution to this point. I have been personally involved in all of the budgets under the new government and know that this is the most challenging one we've seen since we started. This budget provides as much as we could fund under the circumstances, plus a little bit of a stretch. The most significant council amendment is the addition of $4.5 million over 2 years for Metro Health, restoring the subsidy to the current $35 million per year. We recognize that Metro Health is facing significant financial headwinds and unusually large uncertainties. Therefore, we desired to do our part to strengthen Metro's capacity to withstand these challenges. The one major point that I would make, as Finance Chair Turner made, is that budgeting has to be a year-round effort. We must keep finding ways to reduce costs, improve services, and take advantage of all available resources. The budget presented here can operate in balance in both the general fund and the HH levy fund, but it would take a whole lot of discipline and a little bit of luck. This budget guides our efforts to improve Cuyahoga County despite significant challenges, and I ask for the support of my colleagues. Before we ask for a roll call, I'm going to ask if there's any further comment, and I see Ms. Simon.
Thank you so much. I just want to reiterate that which I spoke at during our committee meeting about the juvenile court probation officers and how disappointing it is that we had a way to fund those through the opiate fund settlement, which we haven't in front of us, and that was rejected. Without that would have had no impact on the budget that's before us now, and that is completely disappointing and probably going to have some ramifications that we're going to start seeing in greater increase because of our lack of support for that. And it was, I believe, disrespectful to the committee that came before us for 18 months and gave us so many recommendations, and the one that was triaged by the court was rejected by this body when the money is available in the fund. And what I see happening is that there's already priority by the president, I believe, and probably the executive that have dibs on this money to probably support the Behavioral Crisis Center that we're putting money toward. The reason we had to restore Metro was because we took money away for that, and, you know, it's a shell game. But we did have money here before us, and this would not have been a hit to the budget. So it's disappointing to me that we made that choice, or leadership did, quote. So I know it was a lot of work, but this was, I believe, a failure.
Any further discussion?
I'll take a little bit.
Councilman Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. President. On the probation officer topic, what I learned throughout the budget presentation about the opioid funds, it was told to me as I made the comments during the presentation that they're all encumbered up to, and we found out that they're presented, not decided, and some were just ideas. So I'm looking forward to a fuller, robust conversation about the opioid funds and the true partnership with the administration, and throwing the probation officers on the table as a discussion point is something I'm looking forward to next year. So thank you, Mr. President.
Through the president to colleague Sweeney, in fact, we should do that right away. I don't know what we're waiting for to have a discussion on these dollars. And we've defaulted to administration year after year instead of council, you know, taking our own leadership of the dollars. And I think it's time we do that. And I appreciate that and hope we can do it quickly so we can start looking at these dollars that are available. It's just a matter of us weighing in on how we want to spend them.
And I'm through the chair. Thank you. It's just it's a balance of power, right? The administration has theirs, we have ours, and we just have to stay within the realms of the charter, how it was built. So I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to it.
Yeah, it's a balance of power, but we need leadership on that too. I mean, council members, one or two can only do so much. But I appreciate if you weigh in, colleague Sweeney, to help with this.
I always like joining you on good government.
I
We'll
also
see.
support the idea of having the council play a greater role on the opiate funds, and we will work on that. Hearing no further discussion, the clerk will please call the roll on Resolution 2025-0293.
Mr. Castleberry?
Yes.
Mr. Gallagher? Mr. Schlepper?
Yes.
Ms. Conwell?
Yes.
Mr. Jones? Yes. Ms. Turner?
Yes.
Mr. Hauser?
Yes.
Ms. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney?
Yes.
Council President Miller?
Yes.
The motion carries with 10 voting in the affirmative and 1 casting a dissenting vote.
Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0312, confirming the county executive's reappointment of the Honorable Mayor Nicole Daly Jones to serve on the Cuyahoga County Planning Commission, representing the West Shore region for the term January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2028.
So moved.
Second.
Nicole's going to do a great job, and the administration has put forth the next 4, all great folks or great people for the boards. I'm just going to ask my colleagues to support this one and the other 3s as they get read.
Please add my name. All those in favor of adoption, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0313, confirming the county executive's appointment of Dr. Charles Garvin to serve on the Alcohol, Drug Addiction, and Mental Health Services Board of Cuyahoga County for the term July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2029.
So moved.
Second.
Ditto to my last comments.
And please add my name as well. And all those in favor of adoption, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0315, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Ramona J. Davis to serve on the Cuyahoga County Community Improvement Corporation Board of Trustees for the term January 2nd, 2026 through January 1st, 2029.
So moved.
Second.
Ditto to my last comments.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0316, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Richard Perry to serve on the Cuyahoga County Community Improvement Corporation Board of Trustees for the term January 2nd, 2026 through January 1st, 2029.
So moved.
Second.
I'll take a half a second on this one. This is the Pinckney Perry Legends continuing helping and supporting their Cuyahoga County. I ask my colleagues to support this.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0317, making an award on requisition 14693 to RPI Consultants LLC in the amount not to exceed $12 million for the Infor Lawson Software Consulting Services, effective upon signatures of all parties for a period of 3 years.
So this was heard in committee. This contract supports the implementation of our ERP. RPI was selected because it most closely met our long-term needs and goals, and I ask that my colleagues support this.
Would you like to? Okay. We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, and I would ask that my name be added, please. And I would also like my name added to Resolution 2025-0293, which is the budget resolution. All those in favor of adoption, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0318, authorizing a contract with Infor Public Sector, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $21,996,512 for Infor licenses and cloud hosting services for Enterprise Resource Planning System, effective upon signatures of all parties for a period of 10 years.
So this resolution was discussed in committee. This is for our updated ERP with Infor. They did a phenomenal job with their presentation, so thank you to our IT team for this. This is a 10-year contract, and I ask that my colleagues support it.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution's adopted.
Resolution 2025-0319, making an award on requisition 16009 to Metropolitan Life Insurance Company in the amount not to exceed $1,924,746.28 for vision insurance for county employees and their eligible dependents, effective upon signatures of all parties for the period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2029.
Move to adopt.
Second. This was heard in HR. Just want to commend the director of the HR department. Their whole team did a great job. This is our vision. The next one is our dental, and then our insurance. I ask my colleagues to support.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0320, making an award on requisition 16008 with Delta Dental Plan of Ohio, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $11,875,028.40 for dental insurance for county employees and their eligible dependents, effective upon signatures of all parties for a period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2028.
So moved.
Second.
This is our dental insurance, and I should have just said Director Nemasol and shout her out appropriately for doing the hard work that she does. It's not an easy task, but she does it very well with her support team. I ask my colleagues to support it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0321, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Alliant Insurance Services, Inc. for insurance brokerage and risk management services for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2025, to extend the term to December 31st, 2026, to amend various terms and to add funds in the amount of $2,143,159 for a total amount not to exceed $9,166,099.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was heard in the Committee of the Whole, and most of the funds here are to pay for the premiums for various kinds of coverages against risks that the county is exposed to. And a small portion of it goes to pay an insurance broker to coordinate and help us determine exactly what coverages are needed in what amounts. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0322, making an award on requisition 13840 to Executive Information Services, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $3,999,756.96 for replacement of the jail management system located at the Cuyahoga County Corrections Center, effective upon signatures of all parties for a period of 5 years.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President and my colleagues, this item was presented in committee on November 18th by the Sheriff's Department fiscal staff. This is a contract to replace the current jail management system with updated features and will allow more integration of the required capabilities for inmate management. The department answered questions by committee members accordingly, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
So I just have an additional comment that this could be very beneficial, but I just ask the administration that we give careful consideration to what kind of questions we want to ask and what kind of data we want to get and how we want to use that data. Because I don't want to be a few years down the line and ask for some information and say that our system wasn't built to provide that kind of information. So we need to give that careful thought. Any further discussion?
Mr. President, along those lines, the system is only as good as the participation in the communities that we work with. And as I brought up in committee, we need contracts to make sure that the partners we have are going to participate in information sharing to make this what it should and could be.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0323, authorizing an agreement with Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office in the amount not to exceed $8,322,252 for legal services for the period January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2027.
Move to adopt. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2025-0324, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for Cuyahoga Options for Independent Living Services program for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026, to extend the time period to March 31st, 2027, to change the name of two providers and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $7,237,500 for the various providers, A through W.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion? So, this is a very important lifeline program for our senior citizens, and as Councilman Gallagher and everybody else knows, we don't have enough money to adequately provide for our seniors, so I ask for your support. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Please
add my name as well.
Hauser Turner, you got that?
Please add my name as well.
Castleberry.
Sweeney. You could be like a partridge in a pear.
Duly noted. Resolution 2025-0325, making an award on requisition 16140 with the Whiting Turner Contracting Company in the amount not to exceed $4,200,000 for the design and construction of the Virgil E. Brown Rehabilitation Project located at 1641 Superior Avenue in the city of Cleveland, effective upon signatures of all parties through project completion.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Again, this item was fully vetted in committee, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Resolution is adopted. Consideration of ordinances for third reading adoption.
Ordinance 2025-0008, amending the title of Chapter 705 of the County Code, enacting new County Code Section 705.06, approving sewer permit fees, inspection fees, overtime holiday weekend inspection fees, and contractor license fees, effective January 1st, 2026. Authorizing the Director of Public Works to increase said fees annually by an amount not to exceed the cumulative percentage increase in the Consumer Price Index, beginning January 1st, 2027.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Again, this item was discussed in committee, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
All those in favor of adoption say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Ordinance is adopted.
Ordinance 2025-0009, providing for the adoption of modifications to Sections 6.09 and 6.13 of the Cuyahoga County Employee Handbook.
Move to adopt.
Second.
There is a substitute on this item, and I would ask Greg Huth, our Assistant Law Director, to present the substitute.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is really just some technical changes that were actually inspired by Deputy Clerk Janine Carter. These amendments to the handbook call back to the county code. So we've, as Jean suggested, modified our form for when we amend the handbook so it references the code sections. This makes the codification process go a little bit quicker.
Is there a motion to accept the substitute?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of accepting the substitute, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The substitute is accepted. Is there any further discussion on the ordinance as substituted?
Nope.
Hearing none. All those in favor of adopting the ordinance on its merits as substituted, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ordinance as substituted is adopted.
Ordinance 2025-0010, enacting Chapter 511 of the Cuyahoga County Code, adopting the Cuyahoga County Credit Card Policy and Procedures in accordance with Ohio Revised Code, Section 301.27.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Again, this item was thoroughly discussed and vetted in committee, and I do ask for my colleagues' support.
All those in favor of adoption, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ordinance is adopted. Report by clerk on legislation withdrawn at the request of the sponsor.
Resolution 2025-0284, authorizing a revenue-generating agreement with NAR Ohio LLC in an amount not to exceed $40 million for the sale of tax lien certificates purchase agreement for the period November 1st, 2025 through November 30th, 2027, has been withdrawn at the request of the sponsor.
Thank you very much. And the next item is miscellaneous committee reports. And I would start by saying that that the normal process is that there would not be any committee meetings prior to our next council meeting after the recess, which would be on Tuesday, January the 13th. However, if there's any items referred today that are pressing, then there could be committees held during the week of January the 5th. So it will be up to the chairpersons to determine whether items need that special attention. So do we have any committee reports, starting with Councilman Kelly?
I will discuss with Director Hurdick, see how fast this next one needs to get through, and we can set the meeting after that discussion.
Okay.
I would like to wish all of my colleagues and everybody here happy holidays. Hope everybody has a safe, happy, and healthy New Year.
Thank you.
That was very touching. Thank you. I'm quite confident HR and mayor, our council, or executive appointments will not be meeting. So thank you, and wish everybody happy holidays, and I'll see you next year.
I just want to wish everyone a happy holiday season, and we'll see you after the first of the year.
Nothing for safety. Happy Merry Christmas.
Operations will also not be meeting until after the first of the year. But thank you for an incredible year, and Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all of you.
Health, Human Services, and Aging will meet Wednesday, January 21st, 2026 at its regular scheduled time. And I wish all of my colleagues happy holidays, and you'll probably get my little text.
I did not expect. But again, I wish Merry Christmas to everyone. Public Works Committee will not meet unless I speak to Devin. He has a pressing need. Going to the new year, and again, have a happy New Year and a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Finance and budgeting, I think we earned a little vacation, so we will not be meeting for a minute. Andrea, can you add my name to resolutions 0348 49, 328, and 335. I also would like to encourage my colleagues, if you've never attended any of the Freshwater Institute events, you should. These young people are amazing. They were talking about the lake and the blue economy, and it was just blowing my mind. So I want to encourage you to check them out with the next cohort. And then Merry Christmas and all of the holiday cheer. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I wanted to congratulate Councilman Michael J. Hauser Sr. on his induction into the esteemed ranks of the 100 Black Men of Greater Cleveland, where leadership is legacy and his service is the crown he wears well.
All right. Woo-hoo.
All right, I thank you, Councilwoman Turner. Community Development and Housing will not meet this Monday. I would like to be added to the Fatherhood Resolution 0340. And then I wish everyone a happy holidays. I'll also be remiss if I didn't say congratulations to the Glenville Tar Blooders.
Our Blooders.
Who won the championship, I think 3 and 4 years. So I just wanted to make sure I acknowledged them as well.
So unfortunately, Education Environment, I think we need to meet on the 18th at 3 because we have contracts that start January 1. So we probably need to get in there and do business before we leave. Okay.
Mr. President, can I have one more?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. I just want to thank the administration for putting up with me and us for this entire year. They work hard. It's a partnership, and I'd be remiss if I didn't
Since we're,
co-workers.
Council President, just, sorry, beg your indulgence. I'm back at you guys. Thank you for a great year. Appreciate the partnership with every one of you, and I want to just say thanks back at you. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.
So we've kind of combined committee reports and miscellaneous business tonight, which is fine, and I would just ask if there's any other miscellaneous business.
Of course, I would just like to say for my District 7, go to my mighty, mighty Tar Blooders.
Mighty, mighty Tar Blooders.
For winning state champion. And stay tuned because the city of Cleveland will be putting something very nice for them together. They're looking at a parade or something like that, but the weather, you know, we'll all just stay tuned to Cleveland City Council and awarding all the young men that fought in that cold weather to win that game. So, thank you.
As we head into our holiday recess, I would like to thank each of my colleagues for the opportunity to serve as council president this year. And I look forward to working with each of you to tackle the challenges that next year will bring. I wish everyone a very Merry Christmas with time for rest and relaxation with family and friends, and a healthy, happy, and prosperous year in 2026. Is there any other miscellaneous business? Hearing none.